All right, hello. I don't know, man. I feel like my videos are getting longer and longer lately, but it's not intentional. I guarantee it. It's just there's so much going on that it's kind of hard to not um, record something. There's so much content to try to keep up with that I just find myself always making something. And here we have the latest Yunaka. Um, Banner that just came and went or is available to summon on. We got Yunaka, did a couple of fodder things. I got 3 copies, fodder 2. So now this is the last one. I'm definitely going back in on that banner to get at least a +1 Yunaka. I definitely think that's warranted, and then maybe even further than that, man. This is a unit that I definitely want to +10 at some point, not because of the cats, but just because it's Yunaka, it's the papayas, man. Come on. But one of the units that, of course, I gave some of her fodder to was Layla here, and actually wasn't the greatest inherit because Layla kind of has everything that Yunaka has, except for the newest skill, which was the new Lookout Force. Did I not learn it? I did not learn it. Okay. Now, I don't think Layla herself directly benefits from this because it's desperation, as opposed to penalty neutralization, which I think benefits Layla a little bit more. But the which one is this? Active Lookout. Swap. Desperation. So I think this skill here is fantastic for any Dagger unit that can quad. So you're looking at Shez, both of them, all of them really, as well as Pern, Yunaka herself, plus I actually thought the Grail unit that we got the other day was actually pretty decent. Is she in here yet? No, she is not. What's her name? Norn. Did I fodder her already? I think I already foddered her. I thought she was actually pretty decent. Yeah, here she is. I feel like this, I don't think it's the weapon directly, but I feel like her stat line actually works well with the Brave weapon. So those units would actually utilize the desperation effect from that active lookout really, really well. So that's like some of the immediate fodder options that I went with there. So let's take a quick look at what we got going on here. I saw a couple of really great defenses, like just going through this week, and a few of them I was just like, man, I can't do anything here because it's just so tanky. Like this one, he upgraded his defense here, and it is a lot stronger than it was before. Well, I guess different seasons, but this variation of it is actually, in my opinion, a lot better than the one that he was running for Astra Anima. So here we got the Ephraim again. Very, very nice Ephraim. Brave weapon, if you're not aware. This is a brave hit once he meets the attack check, which is very good with Shield Fighter, or because of Shield Fighter, since you don't get a lot of the damage output, so you need some way to compensate for that, and having a brave weapon is one of the ways to do that. And then he has Twin Save. Really what you want here is Briar, but that's expensive fodder, so I don't blame him for not having it, but really that would be the icing on the cake. That would really help out in terms of just damage output, damage reflection. It'd make him a lot more difficult to initiate on, but that being said, this is already a really tough defense here. Bridget, you would have already seen her earlier, just demolish stuff, and there's a reason that she's here. She's very, very good. Look at the ranges here. Sigurd Ring, Ectonier here. You don't want to be tanking this. +10 Ectonier with Breath of Life. Not really for offense, but you don't want to be tanking this. He'll punch you in the face and you will not enjoy it. And then the biggest problem here is this Loki. This Loki is perfectly positioned to just ruin your day. because the immediate idea is to try and tank this with like Ike or something, but because of her positioning, and I'm pretty sure this trap is real. There's no reason.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that there's no reason for this to be. This is a terrible, to have it here is a terrible, what's the word? What, misguide? No, when magicians try to do something, sleight of hand. I don't, I don't remember what the word is, but it's miss something. Yeah, this doesn't disguise the fact that this is the real one. I think putting it here above it would work out a little bit better in terms of just being a little bit more of a disguise in terms of which one of them is real. But yeah, Loki being here kind of just ruins everything. It's like not only the gravity, but all of my stat stuff. You know, I'm going to be losing that as well, and that's really annoying. The benefit of this team in particular, though, is that most of the units here don't have starter turn buffs, so it's not the worst for this team. But looking at like an Omni tank team, which is what I would have liked to use here, it would ruin it completely. Like I can't use Erica here because she gets 2, and then there's at least 2 more from any of the other mythics that are going to be on that team, and then I can't use Ike because Ike gives himself 2, and then, or is it 1? I think it's 1. I think it's only 1. And then anyone else there, he's going to get the rest of the status effects, so it's going to ruin him. And he doesn't perform very well without his status effects. So, yeah, Loki here is the unit that really makes this defense work. And kudos to him for including her. I have really just been, what's the word? Increasing my outlook or like respect for this Loki. She is gaining in value. Initially when she came out, I thought, cool, we got a healer, 6 new mythic finally, after how many Medius was the last one, I think, from before. So we finally got a mythic, and I thought she was pretty cool. She did damage, she could potentially take out Emblem Ike, so I thought all of those things were really good. But what her secret sauce is, or how she's been aging, or what's been keeping her in the meta, is definitely her ability to gravity and take off your specials, and those 2 things are like really phenomenal in the current meta. So come on, okay, can't get there. So let me just show you damage forecast into this Ephraim here. Also, Shez, this Shez was the other unit that I gave active lookout to. She desperately needs this. Like, the problem with this Shez is she is made of paper and she does not want to get hit. So unless you find a way to run Miracle on her and get it to be consistent, or you run her with some type of Miracle support, or you outsource damage reduction, she just doesn't want to get hit. Or you run Wind Sweep, which I do not recommend on her. She does not take advantage of it. She needs all the speed that she can get to just win combats. But having the built-in desperation, not having to outsource it to have it be a status effect, very, very good for this Shez, because the less status, well, at least she doesn't benefit a lot from having a ton of status effects, so, well, it depends on what they are, of course, but in a situation where you're coming against someone like Loki, you don't have to worry about losing your desperation because it's actually just in your C skill. So this is really great for her. I would have loved if it gave a little bit more stats, but I guess 4 is fine. And not only the fact that it's desperation, it also allows her to get away after she's attacked, which is probably her second biggest problem. Getting stuck. Again, Glass Cannon has no bulk whatsoever, so she has no enemy phase. So to get both of these in one skill is a big boon for this legendary Shez. I highly recommend it. It is not a problem. She doesn't really have a problem in terms of damage output into armored units that aren't running Shield Fighter. Shield Fighter is a big problem for her because of how she cycles lethality. She gets it on the 3rd hit, which is not great. Since let's reposition here. It's not great because no, I don't want you to go that far. It's not great that she gets it on the 3rd hit because why? Because why? Yeah, it's into shield fighter. It doesn't actually proc when you want it to. So if you proc the lethality into shield fighter, you don't actually get any of the benefits out of it. Maybe you do still get the damage reduction piercing, but because it's so much flat DR that you're getting from shield fighter, it ends up not mattering. So here we go. And as you can see here, Yunaka dying because Hardy Bearing. I didn't realize, like I was just going through my friends list, trying to figure out, you know, how to try to show off this Yunaka. And I was like, man, I did not realize how many people were running Hardy Bearing. And it's not Yunaka's fault. It's been here since Bernadetta. It's Bernadetta's fault that everyone is still running Hardy Bearing. I'm sure she's since been replaced at this point, but I went through so many of them on the list, and they were all running Hardy Bearing. So
what you need.
Yunaka's problem here is she really wants to run lethality. You can figure out a way to swap into, let's say, Miracle and get that to work, but damage output. She really wants to be running lethality. Let's do a swap here. Pop. This this is really neat. The original intention of this team was to find a way to resurrect my Edelgard here and to get her back in action with the Lookout Force. I feel like I'm close to figuring out a team configuration that can get Edelgard to work again, even with all this barricade being in the meta. But I gotta play around with it some more to actually get it to function. Not that she would do anything here, because she doesn't do anything to Rhea, but this is the original idea behind this team. But for this situation, I'm just going to be swapping Shez up here just to see her damage output. So there we go. That is very, very good, about what you would expect from Shez. And again, I said this Shez is made of paper, and she is, but Miracle in this situation is not fully charged. The downside is that, or the reason that she's living is because Ephraim isn't doing enough damage. He's actually not even meeting the attack check, which is crazy. 64. Whoa. Yeah, so he's not meeting the attack check, so he's not getting his Brave. And she's only taking one hit, but that's getting damage reduced because of Future Focus, which is just phenomenal. It is so good. -7. Wow. Yeah, this Future Focus is so good. Anyways, yeah, and reason that she's not getting the kill here, kind of crazy. Is this really? Oh, no. The reason that she's not getting the kill here is, again, because of Shield Fighter. So yeah, this is the Shield Fighter problem that I was mentioning. She would. So let me just show you, actually. There, he gets his Brave. Plus 22. How is he getting plus 22 now? Plus 19. It's just... What's that? 3 more? Nah, maybe a rain. More than likely. But anyways, let me just show you what it looks like. So, 2 hits. 1. Second hit. That would be full charge for lethality if she was running lethality. But she's not. So she now attacks, and as you can see there, Miracle procs. Not enough damage on that third hit to get him down to 1, because that third hit was also Shield Fighter, and then the last hit did the majority of the damage, but Miracle support from Rhea here made it not matter. So really, you would need some type of feud effect or something, but then Freya's here, so you're not gonna get anything out of that. So this is just a really, really, really strong defense. Have not figured out a way to beat this yet, mind you. I've just been staring at it and going, this is tough. But yeah, kudos to him for reconfiguring his defense here and coming up with something that is actually fire. Let us move on. See what else we got here. So that was one of them. Like I said, there was a few that were just really, really strong this week that I saw. this was also one of them. So Stepbro here, he updated the positioning of Elgard, which needed to be done to get her to be more mobile. Now the big problem is this is exactly where she should be, but the big problem is barricade, and barricade is everywhere, and I don't know how you solve that problem with Rhea. But if Rhea is not there, then this works fantastic. If there's no barricade there, this works fantastically. And I also am going to suffer from this problem as well, because I also run this same Edelgard kit. Granted, I have a little bit of a trick to get around it, but it's not like the most consistent thing. But yeah, with Nell being a rearmed unit that has barricade available to pass out, I'm pretty sure we're going to be seeing a rise of that. Like New Year Neathauger, and I said, man, IS seems to be done with warping, and I was pretty much spot on there. They are, from all indications, done with warping, and it looks like we're moving on to the pass meta, which I was mentioning that I'm not too excited about, because it's pass. There's no way to stop it. It means everyone can just warp in all the time, and you can't do anything about it. That was the whole reason that we started to get, the warp bubble, and we started to use units like Valentine's like Gatekeeper and Valentine's Mirror, because they had that warp bubble mechanic. So if we start going to a meta where pass becomes more available, more prominent, because we have 3 units now that have it just fully, Celica, Shez, and now Yunaka. Luckily, none of these units really do a ton of damage into most save units, especially if they're running shield fighters, so that's a great thing. But I'm pretty sure eventually we'll get to a point where all of these units, or we'll get units that are just strong enough to destroy shield fighter saves. So I'm not really excited about it, but then at the same time, a lot of where we were before, no, not a lot. There was a before warp bubble where it didn't even, was warping a thing aside from, before Gatekeeper? Warping really wasn't a thing outside of Gale Force strategies. I'm really trying to think, and nothing really comes to mind to the extent that it is now, or even just 2 years ago. Warping really wasn't that crazy. The whole reason that warping became so prominent or so feared is because of the power level of the units that we have, both ranged and melee. Gatekeeper, I really don't know why they gave him the warp bubble to begin with. They just built him as a gimmick, but it didn't stop Gale Force. You could still Gale Force. People still did. But I don't know, I'm just thinking of the impact of, let's say you remove warp bubble from the meta completely right now, I feel like the game would be in a much worse off state than before warp bubble was introduced, if you understand what I'm saying. The nukes didn't, it's hard to say the nukes didn't hit as hard because it's relative to the power level of the tanks or the bulky units at the time. So it's pretty difficult to make that one-to-one comparison. But I feel like not having, I feel like if everyone has pass now, it's just gonna be a pain. Every game mode is gonna be a pain. I don't think that's something that I would enjoy, especially in SD. That sounds not fun. But again, I guess it's probably just gonna come back to how strong the nukes are. Because if the nukes aren't strong enough to get through shield fighter or even Briar save armors, then it probably doesn't matter. But I don't know. I don't like the direction, personally. I don't like the direction that it's going in. I don't like how many units are getting past. Hopefully they slow that down, kind of like with Lucia's weapon effect. They only do one every year, which I guess to an extent it kind of has been. It's only 3 units, but the first one was Celica, and then the one right after that was Shez, and I feel like that was kind of close in terms of time. I feel like that was at least 6 months or something. Wasn't that long, but I don't know, man. If IS is done with warping, then there has to be something to replace it. And I don't know if it's just going to be pass, because that's scarier than them being done with warping. But yeah, I'm not going to show you how it works. I'm pretty sure you would have already identified what can go on there with Sigurd. Sigurd has pass, so of course. But then again, Rhea, yeah, Rhea is going to be meta. Like, I've been telling people to summon for her, and I honestly mean it. She is just that good. She's goated. She's so good. And then there were a bunch of them up here. CJ here still has not changed his defense because it still works against people who aren't paying attention at this point. But it's pretty much countered by Rhea, I want to say, unless Hearthfolder can do it. This is a +10 and probably hits a lot harder than my unmerged one. So I don't know what that matchup is like, nor do I want to test it. Every time I see that unit in SD, I always just surrender because I don't want to deal with it. Shield Fighter, again, still not gonna get, like, I can't use I can't use Yunaka here. It's not that she doesn't do damage, she does damage, it's just, it's not enough to take out this Larather with Shield Fighter. Which was the inevitable outcome of where we were trending with saves. So it's not like a big surprise. This is interesting, but also I don't want to deal with going over these mountain terrain. And then also there's Loki. This is a hassle. I don't want to deal with that. What we got here? Oh, that's the same one that I just clicked on. Hardy Bearing. Alright, so what I'm going to do then, I'm just going to change the team. I'm going to change the team here with Yunaka. Let's drop Edelgard for now since I haven't figured that out yet. And we're going to incorporate either Miracle or Flash. Don't know which one I prefer. Let's go with Miracle. And let's see the outcome here. Let me show you the outcome. Debuffs. Gonna need a dance. Let's do this. What if... And then how does... warping 3... 2 spaces. It's 2 spaces. Reposition. Okay, it'll work. So, just a quick demonstration. Well, we're 20 minutes in at this point, so I don't really know if quick is really the right word, but we're going to demonstrate it nonetheless. So, the only reason that Lucina is here is because of Detect. See, lull. Like, I'm not like a tremendous fan of this skill, the Detect skill. It's really just like lull and exposure. The thing about it that makes it so beneficial is when combined with Lucina. I don't think I'd really run this on anyone other than her. I guess there's stat drops in there as well. That's neat, but yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of this skill. I feel like Sabotage is better overall. But you definitely, the lull is very, very important because buffs. You need a way to get around those because it just makes Neathhogger way tankier. And then also to counteract the fact that I'm getting debuffed by Micaiah here, definitely need something to strike some type of balance. So let's go restore. I forgot that I did that. And so we're within 10 of getting the KO here. The downside here is that Lucina, I don't feel like it's a true representation of Yunaka's power, because Lucina is also given Future Focus, which adds additional damage, plus $5 stats, and then a flat 7. I don't know if that's damage reduction, I can't remember. But yeah, that's additional stats that she would not have gotten if anyone else had swapped or inflicted the lull. So It's just 5. I guess it's not the craziest thing, but then also it's a brave weapon, so that's 20. That's 20 extra attack, and you can't ignore that.
Leave it to me.
Can I get Shez up there? Swap, dance. Nope, just walk and dance.
Leave it to me.
Oh, Peony can't reach. That is unfortunate. Swap. Swap here.
This is challenging.
And that's that. Nothing else.
Ready.
Dance. So just for like a damage comparison. So Shez gets it here. But then I think Yunaka should also get it because of the extra drives from Peony. What was that? 62 before, and we're at 66 now. So yeah. This is because there's no miracle. So we're outside of Fallen Maria's range, who has also gone up in value tremendously. But yeah, you can do it with Yunaka, man. She is very good, but it's just that the support that you would need to get to this point, you don't, like, there's so many. That's 7 minimum from empathy, and then you have another, that's 12, and then you have drives here from Fallen Maria, so that's 4. Is it from the weapon, I believe? Yeah, all stats up 4 plus another 3 attack here, so just a lot of support going into it, but she can do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just how you build a team around her. This team is not very cohesive either, because let's say after I take out Ather here, I don't have anyone to come in and like clean up. You need like either the fence or something to close this out. So I wouldn't replicate this team if I were you. And then also I was showing you that Shez can do it as well.
What do we do?
Shez, way more damage because effective damage. So there's that. But Shez also needs to not be debuffed as well. That does play a part. There's just so many things going on, and like it's so complex. But you can do pretty much anything that you want to do. You just got to bring the right team to work around your units. Overall, very happy with this Yunaka ult. Alternatively, if you want to run her with, let's say, Wind Sweep here, she can do it as well with Wind Sweep. It does work. But I kind of like the full disarm. Not beneficial outside of Ether raids, really. What's that? 12 versus potentially what? 12 again from Assassin Strike or Speed Taker. I don't know. Probably I personally go with Assassin Strike because you're usually better off scaling off your foe's stats because you're getting debuffed. So you're getting debuffed, and it's usually less likely that your opponents are getting debuffs. It depends on percentage. You're better off running Assassin Strike, in my opinion, just to get more damage output. But yeah, let me show you what it looks like. The damage here. Don't know what I'm gonna do with her yet. I really want to figure out if I can get the Edelgard thing to work. But seems like it's gonna take some stuff from me. Not even, you know. Yeah, not as much as you would have thought it would have been, but that's Ather. She's just amazing. Shez here. Shez. Voice going. Okay, Shez being Shez. Demolishing pretty much everything. I can't wait for her to get her refine. She's going to be so good. And I guess it means that she's not getting desperation in her refine since this skill is available, but then also probably not the safest assumption to make, since sometimes they do get skills that are already available in the base pool. So I don't know, but I don't think they'd give her desperation in her refine. It just doesn't seem like something Shez would want. She really wants no follow-up. She really wants extra damage, which of course she will get. She really wants, I don't know, at least no follow-up. Yeah, at least no follow-up. I don't know what damage reduction having, I think, should be there, but outside of that, I don't know what else they would give her. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up now because my voice is gone. It's pretty much telling me it's time to wrap this up, and then I'll get into the defense building or the defense replays. I'm gonna figure that out and put that out later. A lot of fun this week. 2 hits. And that is that. Man, that skill is so clutch. That swap that allows her to get away after the fact is really, really good, man. I forgot I should have surrendered. Everyone's dying now. Well, most of the units are dying, but yeah. Yunaka, very good unit. Lots of ways to build her. You can even swap out the C skill for something else if you're not excited about the desperation. But I don't think she wants to get hit, so you probably want to run Windsweep or have some type of partner that has Flash. You're looking at Ganunga Gap, you're looking at Horse. What? I don't know what alt that is, but there's an alt of Sacred Stones, La Rochelle, that has Flash that you can run as well. A couple other units, not Rearm Soph, Rearm Layla as well, giving out that Flash support. Daggers are kind of on the uptake, I want to say. I was mentioning just a couple of months ago that daggers were like really, really bad, but they seem to be making a resurgence in terms of just being in the meta, and I'm all here for it. I'm looking forward to what's his face? Man, how am I forgetting what this dude is called? Joshua. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Ascended Joshua's refine to see what they do, because he's already so good. The biggest problem is that he's hitting zeros lately, and that's just because there just isn't enough in his enough firepower to give. I don't know. He's just hitting zeros and it's really annoying. And I think he's really cool, and I want him to get a refine. So I'm looking forward to that. And then how can I get this dance over here? How can I get you over here? Are you gonna? Yeah. Oh, stay where you are. Okay. Dance. Did I not swap within?
Which way?
And then break this. Stay right here. So yeah, Joshua is probably the only other dagger unit that I use. I'm kind of looking at Rearm Soph to see, you know, where he's at with the skills that are currently in the game, to see if we can get him to work. With Bane, without Bane, I don't know. So I'm looking at him as well. Unfortunately, I don't really have that much to give to him to, you know, try to get him back up to speed. I'm currently like focusing primarily on Layla. But they've slowly been bringing daggers back into the meta, and I gotta commend them for that, because daggers were, like, every dagger I had was completely just not usable. The two of them, Joshua included. So I pretty much have just not been using them, and I probably want to say the same for bows as well. They've given us quite a few bow units, calves mostly, that have been good. And I guess this is just another example of Faye running in cycles, whereas where before you had like a ton of units that were just not usable because they had fallen out of the meta, and a lot of them are coming back. So here's the problem that I mentioned before with how would I even do this? I could only pick one of them. So Yunaka's dying here because no more. How can I get? Oh, I can do this. Okay, cool. This is fine. Let's see. Alright, so even with the miracle support, she's not killing the Swarm Mortis through Shield Fighter. And that's sad. But also, this Swarm Mortis, I keep telling people, this Swarm Mortis is very, very good. I think he's still better than Hector. The only thing is that Hector has attune potential, fodder duplication potentials. That's the only pro. And I guess the the Bulwark is really nice as well. Okay, Hector's good. But I still think this Mortis is better.
What do we do?
And this is the problem that I was saying about Shez. 97 times 4, but without any type of damage reduction, piercing, or halving, it doesn't matter, as you will see here. So here we go. Again, I don't know what to do about her lethality either, because again, you see it's 2 cooldown, that's 4 cooldown. This is where the lethality would hit consistently, unless you got it to be pre-charged, and then it would cycle. I don't know how it would cycle then, but yeah, that's not great. You don't want that, and I don't know what to do about it, but I'm gonna figure that out, and then maybe I'll be able to use Shez more in terms of just matching into shield fighter units. But for now, she takes care of units that don't have shield fighter, Hector included. So I don't know, man, that's good enough for me. Let's see what we can get with a refine in the future. But overall, gotta say, man, that's it. Let's call it here. Don't have anything else to talk about. Actually, that's a lie. I got more things to talk about, but I really feel like we're pushing on 40 minutes here and my voice is gone. So yeah, man, that is, ooh, I want to show you guys this. Is this gonna, let's see, real quick, let's see Yunaka here real quick. And let's get Rune of, that's good enough. All right, let's, and you can go here. Let's break that. Ooh, bro, this is such a good skill. Oh my god, I love this so much. And we pop the dance. Nope, no popping of the dance. Okay, so no support. Does she need someone within spaces? Closest foe, 2 space, 2 space. That's for the debuffs. Initiator, or is it okay?
Give me an order.
Losing to Hector here because can't get Maria up there. How do I get you up there? Can you warp?
No.
Swap and then walk.
This is challenging.
Which way?
Restore. Again, very clutch. How would I get Peony over there? Okay.
What you need?
So there you go. She does it. Attack him directly. Oh, I can dance Shez. Okay, great. Shez also does it. I'm satisfied. This is exactly what you wanted to see, or at least what I wanted to see. Very satisfied with this.
Leave it to me.
Let's let this be the thumbnail. What's 60? Okay, 60 either way. Yeah, this is the thumbnail. And we can call it here.
Time to finish the job.
Yo, lethality is actually an insane special, and it's getting reduced to
finish the job.
33. That's crazy. Alright. And we could just pop Rune up here as well and then keep going. Man, I really like this skill. I gotta figure out how to get this lookout skill to do something with Edelgard. I think it's insane. But yeah, I'm gonna call it here, man. GG's.